our office conducted a massive nationwide takedown from 2 indictments of 34 defendants for their alleged involvement in 2 separate illegal poker and sports betting schemes where, as you heard, the odds were rigged in their favor. Among these defendants are 13 members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families.
Welcome to Rolling Ratchet. I'm your host that smokes the most. They call me New York Nizzy. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Y'all already know the lingo. And I got some questions. I don't know who got the answers, but damn it, I got some questions. And my biggest question is, if you a multi-million-dollar athlete, you already got the bag, why are you getting involved with the mafia? Getting involved with the mafia is like selling your soul. Everybody knows it's going to end in one of 3 ways: jail, death, or witness protection. None of those options are good. So when I hear about NBA players doing card games for the mafia, I'm bewildered. I really can't figure that one out. And we're going to get back to that press conference because I got some questions about that too. But let's listen to some other people talk about this case.
Is the NBA rigged? It looks like the answer is yes. Head coach of the Blazers, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones have all been arrested in a massive crackdown by the FBI. Get this, not only these former and current NBA stars were rigging games and betting on them, but they also had an illegal gambling syndicate that was also rigged. Now, these are 2 overlapping investigations, one of them being called Nothing But Bet, in which looking into fixed college games, NBA games, and illegal poker games that was rigged as well, with this high-tech machinery defrauding the victims, which include a fixed card shuffler and an X-ray poker table that can look at the cards. Not only that, they also wore special lenses on their glasses to read pre-marked cards on the table. Now, the question is, how or why were they doing all this? Well, it looks like they had some help from the mob. Turns out they were dealing with the La Cosa Nostra, which is a collection of Italian mob families. Gets even wilder. So Terry Rozier even faked an injury back in 2023, netting hundreds of thousands of dollars with inside information. But was it really that hard? Now looking back at these games, on how obvious, on how bad he was playing, you can tell he was totally rigging these games. But it gets even wilder. So Damon Jones used to be an assistant coach to LeBron, used that insider information that he got on LeBron and placed bets to win profits. Now, I do find it odd that Gilbert Arenas just this past summer goes to jail for the same thing and gets out unscathed, and then all this happens. Then he actually does this on his show, saying, I have an informant lunch, and on the back it says info, alluding to he may have been an informant. Now, with all that being said, you want to know what I think? Here we go. Now, none of this is new. A former Raptor tipped off gamblers. He pled guilty to that. And Terry Rozier was investigated by the NBA, but they found nothing, right? And remember that these players were dealing with the mob in Vegas. Could this be out with the old, in with the new? Let's not forget, this just happened. Polymarket, which is a predicting betting platform, just got a $2 billion investment from the New York Stock Exchange. Now, could it be that private equity, which is crushing Vegas right now, big tech and government are taking over sports betting as a whole? Because what they're doing is they're showing you old problems, giving you new solutions, because we all knew that sports had been rigged for a very long time.
Shout out to the homie Maverick. And if you like conspiracy theories, make sure you follow him on Instagram at Maverick's Approach, because this dude will be going down some rabbit holes. But let's talk about scary Terry Rozier. As we know, he was investigated back in March of 2023 for possibly throwing games and shaving points. And one might say if the NBA investigated him and they found him doing nothing wrong, well, he must be innocent. Maybe yes, maybe no. I believe when the NBA investigated him, they found out that they couldn't prove that he was throwing games. I mean, think about it. How do you know if a player is actually having a bad game or if he's missing free throws and throwing turnovers on purpose? I think that's something that's hard to prove. And they probably didn't want to get sued for suspending him, so they just let it go. That's just my theory. But let's talk about Polymarket, this company that Wall Street has invested $2 billion into. Now, this company, Polymarket, what they're doing is making predictions. And that could be predictions on the stock market or in sporting event outcomes. Either way, it's going to be gambling. Now, let's talk about No Chill Gil. who was picked up back in, I believe, July, it might have been June, for having poker games at his house. Now, I like Gilbert Arenas. I think he's a funny dude. But watch this video clip and let me know if you think he went too far.
Johnson, we have yet to see Gilbert Arenas, a very tough Thursday for some. Oh, here he comes. With the, hey, how y'all doing, baby? What's up, big dog? Info. Informant.
Oh, let's say informant.
Informant? No. This is lunch. Informant. Just got back. You got a Big Mac in there? See, I'm the sixth man. Hiding in the shadows, huh? How y'all doing, man? What's the? No, this is my lunch, man. I ain't get to eat it over there, man. I was talking too much.
What is that? I got information on the new case.
You feel me?
What's that, a Danish?
Oh, yeah, got my little Danish. Hey, man, look, I ain't gonna lie, they treat you good over there.
The first 48, come back. That news, they give you coffee in there? Give you coffee in there?
He did all that for a Danish.
Right?
No, I got breakfast on. Okay. With 2 pieces of shit.
It's safe.
Play no games around here.
My bad. It's safe.
The show must go on. Listen, the Blazers was to go win anyway. The last thing they needed was their coach.
We said 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, for Gil to make that joke, after just being picked up by the feds back in July for having illegal poker games in his house with gangsters from Israel, allegedly, I just think that joke was in bad taste, especially since we always hear that how the NBA is a brotherhood. Well, 3 of your brothers just got picked up by the feds and they facing some serious charges that could send them to prison, and you want to play around like that? But then again, who knows if Gil is joking? He might be dead ass. He might really be cooperating. But what I want to talk about right now is hypocrisy, because I know people always say, oh, this has nothing to do with race. People might say, oh, these guys broke the law. And I'm going to say, yeah, but I'm going to say some of it is about race. Because if you think about this whole NBA betting illegal poker game scandal, we've only seen 3 faces so far: Damon Jones, Chauncey Billups, and Terry Rozier. How come we don't see none of the faces of the mafia? I mean, the feds did say that the mafia was behind this whole thing. How come we don't see their mugshots? How come we don't see them leaving the courthouse after posting bail like we see Chauncey Billups? That's why I say some of it is about race. But I want to make another example. I want to show how the judicial system always seems to have a different energy when they're going after black men. Let's take retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre. A lot of y'all probably know Brett Favre, but I bet y'all don't know about this story where he was found guilty of taking $6 million from a welfare fund from the poorest state in America, which is Mississippi. But if you've never heard this story, like to hear it, here it go.
The FBI questioning former NFL quarterback Brett Favre in a Mississippi welfare case. Favre's attorney confirming that to NBC News. It's all part of a massive investigation into alleged misuse of tens of millions of dollars meant to go to needy families in America's poorest state.
Each year, Mississippi gets $86 million in welfare money from the federal government, though the state rejects 90% of those who apply. In court documents and audit reports, the state alleges that the head of Mississippi's welfare agency squandered more than $70 million intended for children in poverty, instead using it as a private slush fund to benefit his family and friends. Tens of millions of dollars on items like hiring retired pro wrestlers, first-class air travel, a horse ranch, and $5 million to build this women's volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi. That building with ties to an NFL Hall of Famer. Brett Favre's daughter played volleyball at the university. Text messages obtained by Mississippi Today show Favre saying he helped secure government grant money for a new arena. And he personally was paid more than $1 million to give 3 motivational speeches that never happened. Favre declined to talk to NBC News, but his attorney says he has been questioned by the FBI. Favre says he never knew it was welfare money and paid it back after demands by state officials. Favre still owes $228,000 in interest imposed by the state auditor.
I wanted to at least collect the facts.
Former U.S. Attorney Brad Pygott was hired by the state to find the money.
How is Brett Favre getting money that's supposed to get kids out of poverty?
It's a mystery to us. Here we had tens of millions of dollars sent by the country to do the thing that we need done the most, and it was squandered.
In July, he issued a subpoena to get more answers about that volleyball arena, including any communications between the university and former Governor Phil Bryant, whom Pygott says directed the spending. Bryant says he was unaware that welfare money was involved.
What happened to you after you filed your subpoena?
I was terminated.
So Brett Favre received $6 million from a welfare fund, and he never even got arrested. Now let's listen to the difference of outcome when a black athlete commits fraud.
Former NBA player Glenn "Big Baby" Davis has been handed a hefty sentence of 40 months in prison for his involvement in an insurance fraud scheme targeting the league's healthcare plan. The 38-year-old Davis, known for his time with the Boston Celtics, was also slapped with 3 years of supervised release. Davis, along with others, was found guilty of healthcare fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy charges, facing a potential 20-year sentence. Federal authorities revealed that Davis and his accomplices defrauded the insurance plan for NBA players and their families, siphoning off more than $5 million over 4 years. The scheme involved submitting false claims for dental and medical services that were never rendered. In a particularly audacious move, Davis claimed $132,000 in dental work, including $27,200 from a Beverly Hills dental office. However, investigations revealed he was actually in Las Vegas and later flew to Paris on the same day.
So let's break this down for a minute. On one hand, you have Brett Favre, who received $6 million from a welfare fund and never even got arrested. Then you have Glenn Davis, who only got $132,000 from defrauding the healthcare plan of the NBA, and he gets 4 years and 3 months in federal prison. And what that video failed to mention, he also has to pay back $80,000 in restitution. But remember, it's never about race. But when it comes to this whole sports betting scandal, you know who I blame? I blame the government, because the government is so damn greedy. You remember back in the day, if you wanted to place a sports bet, you physically had to get up, go in the deli, walk into the back of the store, knock on the door 3 times, and place your bet with a guy named Bruno. The government said, nah, they're getting too much money out there. We want them. So what do? They legalize sports betting. Now it's so easy. All you got to do is pick up your phone, open the app, place your bet. And did the government really think this wasn't going to get out of hand? But hey, as always, I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I'm your host that smokes the most. They call me New York Nizzy, and we rolling ratchet.